Alright, so in today's video, I want to break down the real difference between the most successful Klaviyo account and the one that stays stuck. And when I say successful, I'm not talking about account that send more emails, right? I'm talking about brands that have actual email and SMS set up in a way that actually scales so that they don't have to be constantly rebuilding CRM on every 30 days or 40 days or 60 days or even 90 days. So because that's what happens in most of the accounts that I audit. They keep revisiting the same problems. Their flows are totally broken. They have the poor segmentation. They have underperforming pop-up spam and whatnot. The same campaign strategy that felt busy but does not actually produce consistent revenue. The truth is, winning with emails is not that hard as people make it seems. The best performing account actually do a very few things really well. They focus on right numbers, they build right automation, and they know actually the right touch point to focus on. They send relevant messaging, they segment correctly, they don't just send to a list at whole, but they segment correctly based on who to send out to. And most importantly, they make decision based on data, not opinions. So in this video, I want to walk you through the core focus that actually separate great Klaviyo accounts from average one. Let's get right into it. The first one, acquisition source, not just sign up rate. What we talked about is the pop-up. What most brands do is they just focus on pop-up, but there are three different ways to collect emails. One is pop-up, one is at checkout, and one is using software that helps us track anonymous browser. Now let's say your pop-up is converting at 4%. Our form is doing okay, but that's just very surface level looking in less growth. The real thing is there are multiple acquisition sources. As I mentioned, there is pop-up, checkout, software, there are landing pages, quiz opt-in, welcome offers tied to specific collection, and then you have tools like anonymous visitor resolution where you are identifying users that otherwise would have left without even submitting a form. So when we look at an account performing, we are not just asking how the pop-up is doing. We ask ourselves how we can bring more people into the retention ecosystem using these things at one place, because this number determines how many people enter your retention ecosystem. And if people never enter your ecosystem, your flows cannot convert them, your campaign cannot nurture them, your SMS cannot recover them, your email strategy never get to work. So this is why acquisition is the big lever. Let's say you have 100,000 people coming in. If you just have a sign up form that captures 10%, then you are only capturing 10,000 people. But if we optimize the pop-up, improve checkout collection, redefine the messaging and add other collection source, now the same brand could capture 15%, where the 5% can come from either checkout or the software. Then you have 15,000 contacts. That's 50% growth. Same traffic, same stores, same products, same flows. But now more people are entering the funnel. Even if your conversion remain the same, the output goes up because the input got bigger. That's one of the fastest way to lift revenue without adding no ad spend or rebuilding your entire backend. The strongest account understand this. They don't just write better emails. They focus on how to get more people into the funnel, into the system. That is step one. Now let's talk about the right automation for your business model. The second biggest thing in the successful brand, focus on right automation, not just more automation. This is where a lot of people go wrong. They copy another brand, they see someone talking about a flow stack, they install a bunch of automation, and they wonder why it doesn't perform the same for them. But every business has different priorities. So you have to make sure that those priorities are fulfilled. A high ticket brand and a low ticket repeat rate brand does not win the same way. For example, let's say you sell sauna, luxury furniture, or a premium one-time product. This kind of business should focus on first purchase. The buying decision is slower, they are more considering customer are comparing options, trust matter more, financing might matter more, reducing friction matter more. So for that kind of brand, your welcome series is so important compared to any other. Your abandoned cart flows become incredibly important on nurturing those. Your messaging should consider those cycles. Your messaging needs to reduce the consideration cycle. It should build trust, it should handle objection, and it needs to make the buying decision easier. Now let's compare that to a supplement brand, skincare subscription brand, or something with a strong repeat behavior. That business may have to lower barrier to entry, higher first time conversion, but profitability may depend on more on retention rather than first time purchase. In this case, what matters is post purchase flow rather than pre-purchase flow. Subscription educational matter more, replenishment matter more, churn reduction matter more, cross sell, upsell matter the most, repeated behavior matter most. So if both the brand are doing like let's say $10 million, both are successful, but their priority stack in Klaviyo should be way different. That's the key. That's what most people doesn't understand. The basic account don't ask what flows should every brand have. They ask which automation will create the most leverage for them to get more revenue. That's how you stop wasting time building nice looking system that don't actually make more revenue. Now the third point is high frequency touch point. Most people doesn't even know about it. So what does this mean? It means they put the most attention on the part of the customer journey that gets the most volume. They don't overcomplicate early. A lot of brands love building edge case automation, tiny segment, micro flows, super specific branches that get any traffic. Their main abandoned checkout flow is weak. Their browse abandonment is too generic. Their site abandonment is underdeveloped. Their add to cart messaging is outdated. Their welcome flow has not been touched in months. That's backward. The core flow automation drive the majority of opportunities such as site, browse, add to cart, and many more such as checkout, welcome series, post purchase. These are high frequency touch point because large number of people move through this funnel apart from other funnel. They understand that's where serious accounts spend their energy. They understand the 80-20 rule where most of the key automation influence the majority of flow revenue. Only after this key automation are strong enough, then they go after new versus recurring customer, high value card versus low value card, VIP versus non-VIP, subscription versus one-time buyer. This thing matter, but only when the core foundation is already solid. So if someone is trying to scale, the question is not how many flows do you want. The question should be, have I fully automated the highest traffic and the highest buying intent before focusing on something that is needed? That's a much better way to think about it. Now the fourth thing, relevance over frequency. So what I mean by that is frequency matter, but relevance matter most. And this is one of the biggest difference between brand that attend attention and brand that burn their list out. A lot of weak account thinks more send automatically means more revenue. And yes, in the short term, sometimes sending more can lift the revenue up. But if the messaging is not relevant, it could destroy the list quality. People stop opening, people are not clicking anymore, people tune you out, they unsubscribe, and worse, they stay on the list and just ignore everything you send. That hurts performance long term. The strongest account understand that every email should feel connected to either what the customer did, what they care about, what they browse, what they bought, what season they are in, or what stage of customer life cycle they are in. That's relevancy. If someone just bought, they should reflect trust. If someone just has shown interest in one category, they should receive that message. If someone is a holiday shopper, the message should reflect that. If someone is a high value repeat customer, the message should reflect that. This is why dynamic content matter, behavior based content matter, category based personalization matter, timing matter. Because when messaging feels relevant, brand can send more without fatigue. That's the goal. Not just sending more volume, just more and more. It's about more alignment. The best Klaviyo account don't ask how often you send. It asks why should this person care about our email right now. That one shift changes everything in terms of revenue or your Klaviyo account. Now segmenting the right way. Most brands segment in a pretty traditional way. They have 30-day engage, 60-day engage, 90-day engage. But what have worked in a stronger account is something little different. Instead of narrowing down and going further, what we do so different with a different mindset is go on a big scale, hunt for a bigger fish, then narrow it down. Because if we go from this route, we don't know if our buyer is in this category, or this category. But if we go down our route, we already know who is our buyer And if someone is not our buyer, we could always suppress them or re-engage with them using re-engagement emails and a lot of this thing. Why this matter is because it let us handle our deliverability. On top of that, making sure that Klaviyo doesn't charge us too much. And the last thing, data driven. Your accounts should always be data driven. That's the one of the strongest key point I have seen. Internally, we do not need to be right. You just need to make more money, and that's it. A lot of people get emotionally attached to their idea, their design style, their copy angle, their campaign format, their assumption about what should work. But the market simply doesn't care. What it cares is just data. So we need to focus on those data. That's the only way top account pay attention to behavior. They look at CTR, session behavior, CV, a conversion rate, conversion value, revenue per recipient, what product get attention, link clicks, subject line on opens, what content actually drive buying action, and lot of those things. And they adapt based on all of this information and rebuild upcoming flows or campaigns. And that's the only way to go. For example, one campaign might have a strong click-through rate but weak conversion rate, the CBR. So what this tells us is your traffic quality was strong but the buying intent was not there. That tells you the content pulled attention but maybe the landing page or the product did not close the sale. So if another campaign may have lower clicks but high CBR, that may tell you the traffic quality was stronger or the buying intent was higher. Now you start combining all of this learning from the data of campaigns and build a pattern and use that to actually build something that will drive revenue. And this is what the most best account do to get to numbers that has actually be performing really well. They let the customer reasons shape the strategy, not their thinking. That's how you build an email system that actually improves over time. So when you zoom out on all of this, what really matters is difference between top performing campaigns and struggling one usually comes down to this. The best account focus on growing acquisition sources. They prioritize right automation for their business model. They optimize high frequency touchpoint. They choose relevancy over mindless frequency. They segment with intent and they let data guide decision. That's it. It's not about having the prettiest dashboard. It's not about having most flows. It's not about sending the most campaigns. It's about building a CRM system that's structured, scalable, and aligned with the business that actually makes money. If you get all of this fundamental right, your account looks much easier to manage, much easier to scale, and much more profitability in the long run. And most importantly, you stop constantly feeling like you have to rebuild every flows in few months. You finally get control. So hopefully this give you a clearer framework on how to think about email marketing at a higher level.